And it's our true identity. It's being true to ourselves and living out of that new man. Paul always called him the new man. In Ephesians 4, I think it's 4 and 24, Paul said, put off the old conduct of the flesh, of the old man, and put on the new man. And then he says this statement, which was created in true righteousness and holiness. And so Paul is telling you, when you got born again, God created a new man inside you. He didn't put a paint job on the old man. He created a whole new person, new creation. 2 Corinthians 5:17. You are a new creation in Christ, but that's the key. You're in Christ. And God put us in Jesus so he could treat us like Jesus. People are always wrestling. I just want to please the Lord, Brother Dale. And so my answer to that is, let me ask you a question. Is God pleased with Jesus? When that goes, yes, of course. Well, God's pleased with you.
Because you're in Jesus.
Because you're in Christ. Now, that's not to say he's pleased with everything you do, but he's pleased with you.
It's funny because for me, the grace message has not pushed me to drink more, cheat on my wife, or do more actions, illegal actions or unrighteous actions or stuff like that. It's actually, honestly, I probably have risen in the quality of my life, my relationships and everything like that. And I love the time where you talked about it doesn't take you to read the Georgia state law on how to love your wife. You do it better than what the law says, and I think that's the thing for me right now. I, in the Lord, have a better relationship than when I was trying to follow the law. Can you emphasize on that? Well,
because you're under real grace. And I say real grace, there is a false grace, like there's a false everything. But anybody who says that they're under grace and they sin, irrespective, willy-nilly, whatever, the Bible teaches that the grace of God leads us to say no to unrighteousness. So the true grace message, if you're setting under the true grace message, it will actually do just what you said and described. It will lead us to say no to sin, no to ungodliness, and it's not going to cause us to sin more. We'll sin less on accident than we ever tried not to sin on purpose. Because it's not based on human strength. We're just living true to our identity. And to me, that's the big idea there. That's the big important thing to take away, is that God made us a new creation, and then we live out of that revelation of what He's done on the inside of us, and therefore we're going to sin less. We're not going to want to do sin. Sin's not attractive to us. Are we going to sin? Yeah. But like I always say, I don't have it marked on the calendar for next week. You know what I'm saying? I think if we live that way, there's something wrong. Our understanding is wrong. Our identity is askew. But to be that person in Christ, to live out of that revelation of what Jesus accomplished for us, the finished work of the cross, is going to absolutely cause us to sin less.